What's up, guys? Welcome back to Aries EDC. I am getting some work done this weekend and just wanted to share where I am with some of the projects that maybe you guys have been following along with. But before I do, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and I've been at 600 for quite some time. But if you want to see how these are made, check in with the channel, and I share pretty much everything. Plus some of the ones that I have available. So I got a lot of things going on. But I wanted to share with you guys where I am. So I shared with you guys the mini gargoyle, and it is now fully completed. Acid etched it, stone washed, got a nice patina to it. Looks really good. So this one is done and ready to get out to its new owner. He wants to use it as his EDC carry, and I think this is absolutely perfect for that. Man, this thing came out really, really good. I'm really happy with the way that came out. Just so you know, every knife that I finish, you get the maker's card with my signature on it, just with some information about the knife. And this is what he'll receive when he gets it. So this one is done. Super slicey, super sharp, and I'm, again, really happy with the way that came out. And so let's go out in the shop. Well, what the heck, we'll go for a little field trip. We're in the shop. The only other one I'm working on is the Damascus Column, or the Column, and I have that acid etching right now. Oh yeah, the big reveal. So that thing is looking pretty good. It's on its second acid etch, so I'm going to get ready to pull that thing out here in a second. But just so you guys know, that thing is going to be getting the black rich light scales. There you go. Kind of looks like that when it's finished, with the copper pins and tubes and liners. So the black with the copper and the Damascus, I think, is going to end up looking really, really good. So once that thing is done acid etching, I'm going to coffee etch it overnight because I really wanted to get that nice dark etch on it. And then I'm going to be gluing up the handles and finishing up the handles. But since that's all going to take some time, I have 3 knives that I'm getting ready to start. The thorn for our friend and your friend Jim Miller, so I'm going to be doing that. And I have the petal and the bloom, which I'm going to be working on. One of these two, I'm going to do a full time lapse from start to finish on these guys. So, and I'll probably intermix some of those videos and some of the updates that I'm doing, but just so you guys know what's going on with that. So I'm going to pull that thing out of the etch, get it nice and cleaned up, and probably start working on these tomorrow, and I'll time lapse some of that and just create a video for all the work I'm going to do this weekend. So stay tuned. Here we go. All right, guys. So update. We're just getting ready to pull this out. I set this up last night. The 2 acid etches went really well, got it pretty dark, and now I coffee etched it. But when you coffee etch, it really does give it that nice little dark sheen, just based on some of my experiences with it, which isn't a whole lot, but it does help. And I acid etched it overnight. So I set this up like, I don't know, about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And it's 5:30 in the morning now. Yeah, I know I wake up early, but I can't help myself. And I'm getting ready to take it out of the coffee etch just to see what it's looking like. So let's give it a little shake. Let's find the blade. There it is. And let's pull this guy out. Get that cleaned up a little bit. All right. Ooh, ooh. All right, so what I need to do is I'm going to take this over to the sink, get this wiped down, cleaned up. But you can see it's nice and dark. Now, here's where, I wish it kept the really dark patina. But once I get it off, you can start wiping that off. That's why whenever I caught acid etch, you never see me wipe things down with a paper towel. I will just run some water on it, put it in the baking soda solution, which neutralizes the acids, and then I kind of let it sit. Usually, once I'm done with the second etch, I'll let it sit in I'll spray it down with a little WD-40 and just let that acid etch really take in. Then I clean it up. And I clean it up with the most finest steel wool that they have. And I just kind of give it a nice light thing, because that black finish and the oxidization from the steel will come off. And I don't want, if I continue moving forward without doing that, then, if it goes out the door, then while you're touching the blade or whatever, you're going to get it on your hands. So I don't want to do that, but I also don't want to wipe it off because I want that to get set. So I'm going to go wipe this thing down, neutralize some of the acids that are going on, and then clean it up, and we will come back. All right. All right, guys. So got it all cleaned up, decided I'm just going to let it sit with some oil on it. So I sprayed it down with some WD-40. I want that to really take in and get going. So that is just going to sit there for about 30 minutes to let that soak in. Then I'll take it back over to the sink and then just do a nice light wet sand, maybe with some 2000 grit sandpaper or that very fine steel wool to get that nice nice look. Try to keep that nice dark finish. So that thing's looking pretty freaking cool. Really like the way that it's coming out. And then next on the docket is get started on these. So that one, once I get that cleaned up, I'm going to take it in and we're going to have to glue up the handles, which I hate getting that to look like this. And then I'm going to end up covering it up. But, got to have a handle on it. And I have to continue pushing forward. And then I have thorn, the petal, and the bloom. So, got a lot to do. I'm going to time lapse all of this. I think I'm going to do the time lapse. Let's see. The time lapse video of from start to finish that I talked to you guys about. I think I'm going to do it on the bloom. I'm not going to go too crazy with the handle or anything. I'm going to try to keep it somewhat simple. But I'm going to do start to finish. So that will be I'm going to film a little bit of that while I'm doing this video. And then that video will end up getting put into the time lapse because I got to cut this out. So that'll be its own separate little bleep. So all right, well, let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, what do you think of that? Coffee etched for 12 hours. I took it out, let it soak in the oil for a little bit, and this is what you get. Pretty happy with it, self-explanatory. I don't really need to say how beautiful that is. But turned out pretty darn good. What you don't want is I don't want to rub on it and then see that come off, the patina and everything come off on my finger. So my finger's coming off clean. And so I got all of that off. So that is what the finished product probably will end up looking like. So I'm pretty happy with it. One thing you have to keep in mind with Damascus is not a stainless. So it takes care, and you have to keep it oiled. You have to keep it clean. If you get it wet in any way, it's very quickly to rust. So you have to make sure that you're keeping the blade nice and clean and oiled. Mineral oil is the best that I have found. I'm sure there's other oils out there that'll work, but mineral oil is cheap and easily accessible, so I just use mineral oil for that. So, what do we have next? For this one, the next is let's talk about handle. So this is the first time I'm going to try with this handle shape, putting scales on the blade. So what I have in store, like I said, is the Rich Light with the copper liner and copper pins and tubes. So let's put it together and give you guys an idea of what that's gonna look like. So just so you can see it, put it together. I know that looks rough, but you're not really gonna see any of that. Oh, before I glue anything up, I need to put some relief holes in there. All right, I'll do that in a minute. So let's put it all together first. All right. Nice tight fit. So you can already kind of see what that's gonna kind of look like. That's gonna be pretty cool. You know, I just envision stuff in my head that I think is gonna look good, and then I hope and pray that it's gonna look good. I even got the lineup where I started rounding. So I rounded the crown, but where that transitions into the handle, actually, I'm gonna pat myself on the back because that ended up looking pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with the way that is gonna look. And again, I'm always putting it in my hand, seeing how it's gonna feel. Obviously, this is all gonna get trimmed down. That's gonna get trimmed down in the back. And I'm gonna round everything off. Sorry, I'm looking at something I don't like, but I'm gonna round everything off, and it's gonna get nice rounded, and it's all gonna kind of look like this, and it's gonna look pretty awesome, guys. What do you think? What do you think? I don't know if I'm gonna finish this one in this video, but next step is gluing this thing up. But before I glue it up, since I didn't pre-do the holes, I like to just put little relief, bloop, bloop, hit it with the drill press, and just do little divots in there, and it just gives some place for the glue to sit. It makes the handle that much stronger. So I'm gonna do that. That'll take like 2 seconds. Then I'm gonna come back and glue this thing up. And I'll see you on the other side, because once this is glued up, then I'll just start cutting out those other ones, because it's gonna take several hours for that to dry. Then I gotta come back and trim everything up. Yep, that's gonna look pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know if you guys could see the layers in the crown. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty cool. I don't know. Damascus is fun to work with, but I'm starting to learn that there's a lot of different challenges when you get involved with it. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go drill some divots in this and get it prepared. All right, guys, so I got it all glued up. Looking good, cleaned up. Pretty happy so far with the way that's looking. So now it's just a matter of being patient, letting it dry. Good thing I have other projects to work on. So I got this one in a good spot. So now I'm going to turn my attention to those other ones and start cutting those guys out. So it's going to be a long morning with that because I got to cut all those out, then get them shaped, maybe start drilling some holes. And if I can get to all those today by the end of the day, I'll be looking good. And then for the live stream tomorrow, I'll be working on a handle again. Or doing bevels on those other knives, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to do. So whatever, we'll get it going, right? All right, let's go figure it out. All right, so here we are. I noticed, I've been going back watching the videos, and I noticed every time I start, I say, hey guys, and I need to stop doing that. Sorry about that, but it's just something. So I use this to mark the holes and to punch a little divot in there, just a little punch. But all the holes are drilled, cleaned up, and ready for the next step. Again, some of these holes are for weight reducing and just for helping with glue up. So I got to clean up that, get the little burrs off the edges. So I'll just do that. But everything is looking pretty good. So I have the bloom, the petal, and the thorn all looking good. So now I'm going to mark up the center line. I'm going to mark off, do some, go look up what the angles that I want. The thorn, I like to bring the bevel all the way to the top. And the petal and the bloom, I don't know, I play with it. Sometimes I'll bring it halfway, sometimes I'll bring it all the way up. So it kind of depends how I'm feeling. I'm thinking I'm going to bring it all the way up, make it nice and thin. A nice thin EDC little cutter. And same with the bloom, bring that up to at least here. So I'll mark that out, measure it, and then we'll move on to the next step, which is bevels. And that's where we really start turning this into a knife. Hey guys, I just started putting this video together and I realized that we're already at 20 minutes and that's way too long. So I just wanted to tell you guys, I got it all glued up and this handle's got to get all shaped. The pins got to be ground down and I got to be careful because as I learned, copper melts very quickly and this rich light really gets hot pretty quick. So I'm going to work on that. Plus I have these three that are all ready for the bevels. I got the angles. I need to clean up the thorn a little bit. I need to thin out the handle, thin out the blade a little bit, but these guys are all gonna get ready. So I'm gonna be working on all this stuff on the live stream today. At least probably this one. And I'm gonna get this work done before the live stream probably happens. I usually work out here for about 30, 45 minutes before I start the live. But I'm going to really try to get this worked on during the live stream. And I guess I'll check back with you guys later on this week to see what these guys are looking like. So this is all I'm going to do for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Kind of dragged on a little bit, but this is kind of the life that I live, and doing these knives is sometimes it's amazing, sometimes it's kind of monotonous. Really excited about the way that's coming out, and these guys are going to be great as well. So please check in. I got the time lapse of the bloom started, so that's going to be pretty fun. Well, please subscribe, like, leave a comment or not. That choice is yours. Have a great day. Wow. Have a great day, everybody.